Hi and welcome to today's Primetime News Package. I'm your presenter, Alian Christopher. Here's a look at today's headlines. Dominica wins the Windward Island Regional Debating Competition for a second year running. Mau constituency receives $2 million for first phase of housing roof replacement project. And the UPP launches campaign and cost-cutting promises for Antigua and Barbuda. Stay tuned for these and other stories right after the break.
When persons with TB sneeze or cough, healthy persons nearby breathe in the droplets and the bacteria can lodge in their lungs. People with weakened immune systems such as HIV/AIDS, alcohol and drug users, smokers, children, and the elderly are most susceptible. Persons with a cough should take precautions when in contact with persons in public places. Cover your mouth when sneezing and coughing. Visit your doctor or health center. You must complete your treatment. TB can be cured even with HIV. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB and HIV. Protect yourself and others.
And welcome back. Trudy Christian, coach and mentor at the Dominica State College debating team, says that she is elated that the 4 students who represented Dominica at the Windward Island Regional Debate Competition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines were victorious. The coach remembers that just last year, the Dominica team copped the title, having won all 3 individual prizes. Christian admits that a lot of preparations were needed for these competitions.
Yeah, we didn't win each of the individual prizes. We won Best Speaker in the semi-final round, that was Miss Jaya Pendeng, and of course we were the overall winners of the competition, but we did not win the Best Speaker in the finals round. That went to the student from St. Lucia. Rahim was his name. So we didn't win Best Speaker in the finals, but we did for the semi-final round.
Christian says that Team Dominica has proved that it is the team to beat. She admits that while it is hard work, she also benefited from this experience.
I gained a little more patience because it was a very, very stressful journey. The students, of course, were difficult to kind of pull together because we did not have the full complement of students at the State College last semester. It was only the second years, and so I had to try to get in the first year person and try to schedule things that were convenient to everybody. Of course, there were the difficulties and the challenges of not having electricity, not having the availability of the internet, and so I had to be very patient with the students, kind of continuously pull them along and encourage them. So overall, I think I gained quite a bit of patience in this endeavor of ours. So it was.
She added that Dominica will continue to perform at this competition as ambassadors to Dominica. And the first phase of housing roof replacement project in the Mau constituency will soon get underway. This is because of a $2 million check which was handed over to the Mau Village Council by the government of Dominica. Parliamentary representative for the Mau constituency, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, noted that one of the most critical priorities at present for the government of Dominica is housing. Blackmore further stated that the government has to do everything possible to transition from tarpaulin to galvanized or concrete roofs.
That to me is the most important aspect in that phase of our development post-marriage. And I think it's absolutely remarkable that our Prime Minister, notwithstanding all the criticism, has remained so composed and resolute and determined to make this country the first climate resilient country in the world, and that is remarkable. This is therefore important. This is important, extremely important for us to buy into that concept from our homes, from our respective communities, and from a national perspective. It has to be part of our psyche, by our manifestation and by our deeds. Therefore, if we're going to be a climate resilient country, we cannot go into the next hurricane season with all our houses in excess of 81% covered by tarpaulin. So anybody therefore want to engage you in anything except that has no interest in the development as a person and has no interest in the development of this country. And it's important for us to understand that.
Blackmore told the audience at the handing over ceremony that the responsibility lies on them to repair their homes. He said persons with money in the bank should not wait on the government to come and fix their homes, but rather these persons should proceed with haste to cover and repair their homes. He said the government's intentions are to assist those who really need the assistance. Meantime, according to the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, the parliamentary representative for the Mahu constituency initially made a request for $8.1 million, and that amount has already been approved. Skerrit also informed the Mahu constituency and the wider population that the government's intention is to have as many roofs replaced by Easter and to ensure that the vast majority of Dominicans would have their roofs back by May 31st, just in time for the next hurricane season.
It means, therefore, that we as contractors, skilled and unskilled workers, are going to have to be diligent. It means we cannot jump our tools at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, when up till 6:45, there is still broad daylight outside. We are racing against time, and therefore every day that we lose is a day that we cannot regain. So I'm really appealing to our contractors, our skilled and semi-skilled and unskilled workers, that now is your time. Now is your time to not only shine, but to make a lasting contribution to the development of our country. It is a time for us to be focused, it is a time for us to be committed, it is a time for us to be exemplary in our performance. Because all of us in this country have a profound sense of anxiety. Tap holidays really are for extremely short periods. Those of us who are able have been able to climb the ropes from time to time to stretch it again. But the vast majority of us do not have the...
And following Hurricane Maria, the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division said it has had assistance from a wide range of partners outside of Dominica to conduct a rapid assessment on the wild imperial population and its habitat. Acting Forest Officer Stephen Durant noted that the assessments also include the redneck. Durant said since the commencement, only 3 surveys have been done so far, and the results are very good.
And one of the surveys we had 6 birds, and we saw 3, we heard 3. The other one we had 2 birds, we heard both birds, and we conducted another survey yesterday. We actually had only rednecks and no imperials. So in the surveys before, I'm talking about the 6 birds are imperials and the other 2 imperials. So which is very good. That is a sign, a good sign for us. At least it is, for me, it is helping me with what I believe in, that I am one of the persons who's confident, very confident that the birds will do better than we expect them to. And the fact that if the birds are given a chance, they will do what they have to do. Nature will take care of itself. I think the habitat will come back with time to produce, to provide the food supplies that they need, and as well as nesting cavities. I think Maria definitely provided more nesting opportunities for the birds, and so just a matter of time that things will return. It happened after Hurricane David. We were doing the same, I mean, monitoring the birds, monitoring the habitat, and following the birds, and just documenting what is happening. We will do the same this time, you know, conduct surveys, conduct field visits to monitor the birds, and just to find out, give an account and document an account on the status of the population and their habitat as well.
Durant noted that conducting the surveys are very difficult. He said accessing the forest is one of the division's major issues. And the Office of Disaster Management earlier today advised all users of the sea and persons living or doing business near the coast to be extremely vigilant due to the possible flooding from sea intrusion. Acting coordinator at the Office of Disaster Management, Fitzroy Pascal, he earlier today cautioned sea bathers to stay out of the water.
It is along the entire western coast, from Scotsett to Capuchin. The southern communities like Grand Bay, Forceja, the eastern communities of Petit-Soufrière, Castle-Bruce, and the northeastern communities from Marigot to Thibault are advised to exercise extreme caution and be prepared to evacuate where necessary until the danger of rough seas has diminished.
The Dominican Meteorological Service also issued a high surf advisory and a small craft warning, which will remain in effect until Wednesday, March 7th up to 6 p.m. Pascal further indicated that seas of up to 4.5 meters, equivalent to 15 feet, are anticipated during that period. A high surf advisory means that breaking waves poses a threat to life and property within the surf zone. CBN4's Marissa Stedman followed the developments of today's rough seas and its effects on persons near the shores.
Admittedly, since the passage of Hurricane Maria on September 18, 2017, Dominica have been experiencing some rather strange weather patterns with an abundance of heavy rainfall and to this day high seas. If you look behind me, we're located on the Donkey Beach and we can see that the waves are becoming increasingly bigger as we speak. One local businessman who has a small restaurant type business located on the Donkey Beach says that the rising sea levels is compromising his premises. He's unable to conduct any business here at the moment, and CBN4 is going to attempt to speak to him.
Well, the thing is now, boy, water entering the building now. It's like I need to put a wall there now.
Now, you also mentioned that you all have started clearing a lot of the debris. I see so much debris on the area. Was that brought about by the sea or was that there already?
No, the sea bring it back because we had already cleaned there. Oh, wow. Yeah, we had already cleaned there.
Do you expect to see any changes in the sea patterns?
I don't know. I don't know if it will calm down. But I don't know. But we should calm down.
Yes. Well, thank you for speaking to CBN4. Now, after the passage of Hurricane Maria, I can tell you that there was a collaborative effort from a lot of the gentlemen who work at the Donkey Beach to clean the beach area. And we are noticing that there are huge logs, all sorts of debris located on the beachfront. So it must be that the rising sea levels is simply carrying a lot of debris on the Donkey Beach. Right now, all of the seasides along the west coast are raging, and CBN4 News continues to watch as the story unfolds. Marissa Stedman reporting from Donkey Beach, CBN4 News. And it appears that the rising sea levels have also affected the fishermen in the community of Mao. And here beside me is a local fisherman. Thank you for speaking to CBN4, sir.
Thank you.
Now, we've seen a lot of huge waves lately. How has that impacted you all as fishermen in Mao?
Well, we knew about that. We knew about that weather since last week. We knew about that weather. But now, last night about 9 o'clock, so we had to pull up this boat because while we there in the afternoon time, we see the sea swelling, but we never thought it was that serious because we say it's today we pull up our boat. But seeing that it raised up so high last night, coming all the way, you can see all the way wash out, all the way on the jetty there, so we had to pull it up.
Now, let me ask you, I know that you all have been cautioned not to go out at sea, but are fishermen still going out? Do you all still take the chance?
I don't believe, no fisherman can go out. If a fisherman go out at that time right now, he takes his own risk to go out there. Because even we also will not allow no fishermen to live there and say they're going out. Because it's not on the shore alone, it's out in the Atlantic too. It's out, we normally fish. Yeah.
So in the event of high seas like this, you said you all pull up the boat. You pull it up to where?
Well, as you can see, you can have a thing and we have to pull across the road. Because normally when sea raise up, our boat here stay there.
Right.
Because the sea washing out all that from, you can see the coastal. You can see all the coastal, how the sea, so we have to pull them up across the road and thing. And some of them we have to leave them there. They're monitoring. We don't know if later now when the tide change, it will get worse. Because probably by 1 o'clock either it get worse or it drop. We just there monitoring it. all now so.
And in the event that it does get worse, what will you all do to safeguard your boats?
If it get worse, normally we have to take out the boats and put them across the road. Yeah, we must take it out, because if we leave it there, probably you might find it's going to take them, and we don't want that to happen.
Admittedly, this unexpected rise in sea levels is not only affecting Dominica, it is also said to be affecting other Caribbean islands. Some communities are more badly affected than others. Like we learned that Calibishi actually just lost some road access because of the rise in sea levels. But the fishermen here say that they are eagerly awaiting for the waters to subside. They are simply trying to protect their investment. The neighborly communities of Scotshead and Soufriere are also facing some discomfort because of the rise of sea levels. Now, this is a community in which a number of folks make a living out of fishing. According to residents that we've spoken to, a lot of the boats have been hauled in. There are no fishermen out at sea, and this is more than just a Dominica problem. Apparently, a lot of the Caribbean islands are also facing this rise in sea levels. Now, if you look where I'm standing, you can see that there's sand underneath my feet. So the sand from the seaside is all over the roadside as we speak. But as for posing any danger to life, we have no confirmation of that. We did speak to one individual who mentioned that maybe a few people who live very closely to the seaside have moved from their houses. But as for now, we simply continue to watch as the story unfolds. Marissa Stedman reporting from Scothead, CBN4 News.
The Office of Disaster Management has asked the general public to keep abreast of the situation and be ready to take action at short notice if necessary. We'll be back with more news right after this break.
Persons with TB sneeze or cough, healthy persons nearby breathe in the droplets and the bacteria can lodge in their lungs. People with weakened immune systems such as HIV/AIDS, alcohol and drug users, smokers, children, and the elderly are most susceptible. Persons with a cough should take precautions when in contact with persons in public places. Cover your mouth when sneezing and coughing. Visit your doctor or health center. You must complete your treatment. TB can be cured even with HIV. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB and HIV. Protect yourself and others.
There are signs everywhere. Pay attention whether you're male or female. Visit your health center to get screened. It's a preliminary test to determine if you are exposed to the HIV virus, an STI, or tuberculosis. Some people who are HIV positive also have tuberculosis. But there's hope. Tuberculosis can be cured. And yes, you can live a full life with HIV. Talk to your doctor. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB, HIV. Encourage everyone to get tested.
And welcome back to CBN4's Primetime News Package. The Electoral Commission has informed that His Excellency Charles A. Sovereign, President of Dominica, acting after consultation with the Electoral Commission, has appointed Mr. Ian Michael Anthony to the office of Chief Elections Officer effective March 1st, 2018. Anthony replaces Stephen LaRocque, who retired as Chief Elections Officer in September 2017. In addition to being responsible for the management of the electoral office, Anthony will perform key functions under the Registration of Electors Act, the House of Assembly Elections Act, and the Village Council Ordinance. A career public officer, Ian Michael Anthony is a former Assistant Comptroller of Inland Revenue. He is the holder of a bachelor's degree in law from the University of Huddersfield, England, and a postgraduate diploma in legislative drafting from Athabasca University, Canada. Dominica has placed third in both the Florida Cruise Association 2017 essay and poster competitions. Jamasha Mello A student of the St. Martin Secondary School secured third place in the 2017 FCCA essay competition, which was held under the theme, "What will cruise passengers learn about my country? What will they remember most and hold with them?" St. Martin Secondary School student has been awarded US $1,000 by the FCCA. A check was presented to her by the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, at a ceremony held at the St. Martin Secondary School. Carly Letham of the Dominica Grammar School was also awarded $1,000 US by the FCCA for securing third place in the 2017 FCCA poster competition held under the theme, "Our world is precious, save our land and seas." A check was presented to Carly by the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, at the Dominica Grammar School. The FCCA also awarded checks of US $200 to Maya Sylvester of the Dominica Grammar School and Hilary Nigel Francis of the St. Mary's Academy for qualifying in the first round of the competitions. Also in the news, the Vice President of the Dominica Public Service Union Women's Arm and the Executive Member of the Dominica National Council of Women, Delia Coffey Wicks, has stated that this year's celebration of International Women's Day is very timely. She said it is always a constant push for women to get people's lives improved. This year's International Women's Day will be celebrated under the theme, "Push for Progress."
Because when women push for progress, they are thinking of families. Women are pushing most times for themselves last. They push for their children, they push for their spouses, they push for their partners, they push for their friends, and then they push for themselves. So when women push for progress, we're pushing for progress for our families, our communities, our nation, our Caribbean, and the world.
Wicks also said the DPSU Women's Arm, along with the DNCW, have educated the women on a few simple things that they can do to push for progress.
So we're asking women, first of all, to establish what is your worth. If women do not value themselves in the right way, then they do not command the respect that they need from other people. And obviously you find that when women begin agitating for women, there are always men who are on the side. They are misinformed, and so they ask, what more do women want? But that is why I prefaced my offering by saying that when women push for progress, they're not pushing for progress just for themselves. So we want everybody around us to have an improved lifestyle. So what we're asking women to do on International Women's Day, you could wear white, you could wear lilac, you could wear purple. These are the colors associated with the women's struggle. And you could do just one simple action. Each person could do one simple action to push for progress for women. So it could be a simple thing of looking around at your workplace, establishing are women in the workplace being treated fairly? Are they receiving the respect that they deserve for the work that they do? Are they being discriminated against? Sometimes in very subtle ways. You are not the secretary, but every time you attend a meeting, you are expected to take notes.
Wicks also called on the men to help the women push for progress by taking up their responsibilities for their children. International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. International Women's Day has occurred for well over a century, with the first gathering supported by over 1 million people in Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland. International Women's Day is celebrated globally every year on March 8th. And a look at a sporting highlight. A total of 29 goals were scored over the weekend in the DFA Flow Nations Cup, with ACS Tarish United registering the biggest victory. On Saturday, Petro Caribe Point Michel defeated the Police Sports Club 6-1 in the first match of a double-header at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. Shemaya Dangleben registered a hat-trick for Point Michel with Nicole's career, scoring 2 and Bert Kazimi getting 1. Kenny Thomas got the lone goal for the Police Sports Club. In the second match, Delroy Parker scored 5 times to lead ACS Tarish United to an 18-0 hammering over Trafalgar Football Club. Javon Abraham netted 4 and Fabio Roberts netted a hat-trick, while Jeremiah Timothy, Durham Augustine and Devin Wade scored 2 each. On Sunday, Bafa State Football Club triumphed over Gawley Football Club 4-0 at the Benjamins Park in Portsmouth. Anderson Lawrence, Derrickson McDonald, Denzel Lawrence and Chris Jolly converted a goal each for Bafa State. Meantime, in the under-15 girls competition, North Blazers defeated East Jaguars 2-0. Star Humphrey scored both goals for the North Blazers. In the other match, Central Tornadoes edged out Southern Alpha Warriors 1-0 with Cyber Coffee converting for Tornadoes.
Well, I find it was good, but I don't feel like our players played like last week because our passes was not perfect and couldn't score like the amount we were supposed to.
Stay tuned, we'll be back with more after the break.